What is up, my dudes? It is the ScriptGang podcast, episode 3.
The gang's all here, and today we're answering another important question.
What's the best card/board game?
Let's see what the script says this episode. And I'm going to come to Jesus first and see what he's got on board.
Okay. So I've always played. Okay, just kind of backstory in this. In college, our physics tutor used to buy a lot of board games, and the way he'd do it is he'd set up a board games club, which was basically me and my friends, and he set it up as a club so that he could buy board games with the college's money. So we could literally request like any board game.
Wow!
And
What
he
a
was like,
legend!
Hell yeah, it was brilliant.
What a
And
dude.
like, yeah, it was brilliant. It was literally just like me and like four of my friends. And we just like he'd just find all these weird board games, and like it was really fun. And a lot of board games we played were like players versus the game. So like everyone who played was playing on the same team against the game. And one of my favorite ones was called Forbidden Desert, and it's essentially where you can play it like I don't know, like 100 times, and you like 5 times. It's like a really difficult game, and it's really fun. And basically, the game, it's not like a board, but it's like tiles, and the tiles like move around because there's like a tornado going around it, and the board is constantly changing and stuff at the end of everyone's turn. And you've basically got to like find the parts of the ship and then get all the pieces together and like fly away in the ship, and like that's how you win. But it's really difficult, and as the longer the game goes on, the harder it gets. The more people who play it, the harder it is, and it's just like a really fun, like really difficult game. I think we played it for like a year and like won like maybe twice. But it's really kind of fun. So Forbidden Desert's like a pretty good one.
I've never heard that one.
That you bought games on college money.
We still can't stress this. We had like, I think it was in the second year, he had a BTEC class. I remember we was in his room at lunch playing board games, and his class came in and was like, "Oh, should we go?" And he's like, "No, it's fine. I'll just give them their work to do. I'll just come back and play games with you, and we'll finish this game off." Like, awesome. So like, we'd sit in the corner. He'd give the class like a 10-minute kind of intro of what to do, and he'd come back and sit with us and just carry on playing the board game with us. And it was brilliant. Like, yeah, my physics tutor was so good.
Let's move on and see what Dodo has to say about it.
So, I don't know. One of my favorite board games is called Taboo. I don't know if you heard about it.
Humble?
It's called Taboo.
Ah, Taboo.
Taboo.
Ah, yeah, for sure. I think
Okay,
that's pretty well known, right?
I've not heard of it.
I'm just gonna Google it.
It's like a very simple game you play usually with friends. It's basically like 2 teams or 3 teams, depends on how many people there are. You basically like pick a card, and on that card there's like a word, and you have to try to make your teammate guess it without using some other words that are beneath that word.
Oh, so like heads up.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of fun, and it's like super fun because it's like so tricky, and you can easily like do mistakes and lose points, and in the end wins the team that has more guessed cards. It's pretty simple and basic anyway. It's super fun.
Okay, so a little bit different, and I think that's what's so polarizing about card games and board games is that they can be sort of for anybody and be any difficulty. Where you go from like party games to really serious board games that you have to sit and read the rule book for like 2.5 hours to even play the first game. It's nice to have that variation. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he's super excited about this idea. Let's head over to Brady.
Oh God, why? Alright, I'm gonna talk about we all know the Destroy Our Families, the family get together card game that everyone hates and destroys friendships. People die from it. It's Uno. It's got to be Uno.
That was not where I was going.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you were like
same,
Monopoly.
yeah.
You haven't beaten my family.
Like
have you?
privacy, Cards Against Humanity, what destroys friendship, and it's
Uno.
you're so right. It's Uno.
Everyone
You're
knows
right,
it's
you're right.
Uno. As soon as I mention Uno, it's Uno. Uno, it's the best card game. No one knows the rules. No one knows the definitive rules of Uno. Everyone makes up their own.
You're not wrong. I've never played Uno with actual Uno cards. I've always ever played Uno with like a deck of cards.
Wait, what?
What?
I mean,
Well,
there's a version of
It's
it,
the same,
like
doesn't
Really?
matter.
Yeah, like I've only ever played Uno with an actual deck of cards. So like the 4 would be like a 4 of whatever be the pickup 4. The 2 is a pickup 2. Like the
Yeah.
king is like change. No, the ace is to change the suit to whatever.
Yeah.
Like you've got the red jack and black jack, and like that's how I've always played Uno.
I think that game actually has a name, but now I can't.
in Germany it's called Mau Mau, but
Oh, that's way better. I'm gonna go to all my family events. You want to play Mau Mau?
Mama.
But yeah, Uno, the family destroyer, the friend destroyer, the people killer. What?
Okay. Well, I don't know about it being a people killer, but it's certainly a classic card game. Brad has put up a strong suggestion there. So, Doom, what have you got for us?
Dude, I've got like so much. I feel like okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Yikes. My dad has. Yeah, I wouldn't call it his only big passion, but he has a big passion for board games. So basically, our entire basement is a wall out of shelves that are like top to bottom,
Oh, wow.
filled with board games.
That sounds
So
amazing.
I
Like,
have.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it is like it's ridiculous. I've played so many board games and so early on as well. So to mention a few good ones that I really liked, that he likes very much, it's Stone Age and Kingdom Builder. It's like stuff where you build yourself up during the game and kinda, it has a civilization vibe somehow.
Okay.
God damn it.
Put on the
God,
spot.
there's so many.
Yeah, like
So many to
several
talk about.
card games. Wizard, for example, very good. Tishu, I don't know if you know that, very good. I adore chess. I love chess.
Oh, chess is such a banger.
But to get like lies and deception into this, which is
What's he gonna
my
say?
favorite thing to do, it's gonna be Secret Hitler. Like,
Yeah.
He said it.
he's done it. He's done it. I absolutely love it. If you play your game and then in the end, everyone's like, "What the fuck?" and I'm just like, "Ha! It was me, Hitler, all along." and
Me and cheese. was our
yeah,
terrible secret
Oh,
Hitler.
oh,
yeah,
it's
like
just the
you're
absolute
so bad.
best.
Oh god.
I think you may need to provide our viewers with a little bit of context.
Okay. So it is not as bad as it sounds. But basically the game plays in pre-Nazi Germany, and there are liberals and there are fascists, and there's one Hitler. And the liberals have to prevent that the fascists get elected and Hitler gets to be chancellor. And the fascists, of course, want to overthrow the regime, and you can enact policies in liberal and fascist ways. And whoever gets the most wins, and there are some extra perks, but that would be like too much for a quick introduction.
No offense, you made that sound really boring.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
The way
I
would
needed to
describe
do
it
it
is just
quick.
like, yeah,
Like
black guys,
if
good
I'm like,
guys.
okay, and then you have to triple reverse psychology to get them into thinking that you are a good guy, but
Yeah, you
you
just
actually
lie,
want
just-
them to vote them, but not them, because
You-
they. And like,
They
it is
said-
super complex and it's super fun.
Just lie to your friends and can get your buddy, whoever your buddy is in the thing, to get them into power,
Yeah.
and you win. But like
Yeah.
the key point is lying to your friends, like Brad does. He manipulates me, so I think he's good,
Yeah.
and then he's just secretly Hitler. I'm just like, for God, like ah.
We should stream
yeah.
that sometimes. Like
We
that
should,
would be hilarious, absolutely. But yeah, that's
So
that's my
there's a lot of social deduction involved. I guess an
Yeah.
easy comparison to make would be if viewers have ever played Mafia
Yeah.
before. That's a very common
Yeah.
social deduction game where you're trying to trick other people into seeing down your little viewpoint. That's another example of a bit of a different kind of card game / board game. Although I'd argue Uno can venture into that kind of territory depending on how serious you are at times. No, I'm going to finish it off with a game that some people may or may not have heard of, and that's Ticket to Ride, which is a board game where your map will be like a continent or a particular country. You get 45 trains, and the map has got like little train lines on it that you have to fill up.
in the different
And you
colors
get
with the
given-
tunnels.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
different
Ah,
colours,
love
you
it.
draw cards.
Yeah.
You draw cards to collect certain trains, and basically the aim of the game is to complete train destination tickets. So you're on the US map, you've got to complete a ticket that goes from St. Louis to Boston, and that will require you to fill in certain train slots to get there. And it's interesting because obviously I love my geography, so I actually learn a little bit about some countries when I do that. But it's also got a little bit of history behind it, and that's at Christmas, my family always loves to try and bring everybody into the fun. And so we were looking for board games that me and my mum could play together. And we actually set up Ticket to Ride as a best of 7 series throughout the month of December,
Amazing.
playing every game on a different map. And it was so much fun, and I couldn't recommend it more to anybody else, because you can play it in groups of up to 5, and the more people there are, the more filled up the board gets with trains and the more hectic that it gets, because if you don't complete a ticket, you lose the points you were meant to gain from that ticket.
That sounds really cool.
It is
But
one
yeah,
of the
that's-
better games.
I think I have a PC version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, to be
yeah,
honest,
there's so
that
many
was what
different maps.
like I was
They're
thinking
still-
we should get into like an online board game session maybe, like of the classic board games. Because I
Yeah.
know that you can play a lot online, and the one that you just mentioned is one that we played a lot as well, and it's just amazing. Great fun. And I think that would be cool.
I'd be up for
But
that. That
anyway,
sounds like,
that's it. So we've all shared our favourite card games / board games, and we floated a lot of ideas around, but that's it from us for this episode. ScriptGang out.
yeah.